Hi there, it's Kellen from Nile Creek Fly Shop. Today we're going to be tying a pheasant tail nymph on a number 12 C400 60-degree jig hook. And the bead I got on there is a slotted 4.5 mil gold bead. You could also use copper, silver, really any color that you want, but I prefer gold. And then we're going to start with our thread. And the thread I'm using today is just standard UTC 140 in red. So we're just going to start building up a thread dam behind the bead here. Now, you might be wondering why I'm using such a big bead on such a small hook. So my rule of thumb around here is to try to get away with the biggest bead possible on the smallest hook. And that's for a few reasons. One reason, you know, we have a lot of deep slots we're trying to put this thing into where our fish are hiding. And two, since we can only run one fly, I'm going to put all my weight into my 1-point fly. So now we get the thread down there. I'm going to put in a little pheasant tail. About 4 or 5 strands is all you need for the tail section. Just a pheasant tail right here. There we go. So take the pheasant tail, just tie it in. You don't need it too long, just about as much as the shank itself. Lock that into place. Then I'm going to advance the thread forward, locking the pheasant tail the whole way down to keep the body uniformed. I'll start building that taper a little bit now with the thread. There we go. Cut off that excess. Now I'm going to lay in my wire, and we're going to use some UTC wire in gold, small. So this is going to tie that in just behind the bead, all the way down the shank to the tail. Nice and locked in. Okay, so now we're ready to start building the body out of more pheasant tail material. Once again, I'm going to grab another 3-4 strands. Doesn't need to be a whole heck of a lot. Actually, you don't want it to be a whole lot. It'll make the body a little too bulky and you'll hide that nice nymph taper we're looking for. So I'm going to tie them in by the tips, because it does get thicker closer to the stem. And we want the taper to go from small to big or slim to thick. Advance the thread just behind the bead. And now a little trick is get your crazy glue out and pre-glue down this threads here. The reason why we're doing that is it helps lock and the pheasant tail material down as we palmer it forward. Plus it also makes it more durable, so it's not going to get shredded by the trout as fast. So now we're just going to wrap this forward. Nice tight wraps. Try not to hit that hook point. Avoid it. Okay, get my hackle pliers now out. Grab onto those. There we go. Just keep wrapping forward. Get a nice tapered body as we work our way forward. Now, if the pheasant tail isn't big enough to go all the way forward, that's not a big deal. You can always add more. Just tie it off. Tie that off right there. We're just going to add a little bit more pheasant tail to continue forward. A little bit more pheasant tail. There we go. Cut the tips off. Keep wrapping forward. Creating that nice taper there. One more wrap should do it. Okay, there we go. So we're just going to lock that in now. Cut off the excess. Take our wire and counter wrap forward. We can clean that piece up here in a second. Wrap it forward, 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 and lock into place. There we go. Once that wire is locked in, you can just do the wiggle back and forth until it breaks free. There it goes. We had one piece of pheasant tail that came a little astray here, so we're just going to nip that off. It's not a big deal. Clean it up. There you go. Now, if we wanted to, we could make this fly real simple and just finish off with a dubbing collar, and it's good. But I like mine to have a little bit more movement in the water, so we're going to add a CDC collar. Some CDC brown. What you do is you just select a feather here, select one side, get your handy hackle clips, just trim off one side close to that stem there. Okay, we're going to create a little dubbing loop. Fast forward, a little bit of dubbing wax, get the dubbing spinner ready, CDC into the loop, just like so. And we're going to pinch just below the CDC, give it a nice spin, keep the thread tight, and just open the fingers and let it spin on itself. And then at that point, we're just going to make a few wraps just behind the bead here. You want to leave a little gap for our final hotspot collar. Okay, so there we go. Lock that into place. Pick up my scissors. There we go. And now we're almost done. Just going to clean that up good there. So you can see that CDC, it's all messy and flowy there. That's what we're looking for. And now I'm just going to take a little bit of Ice Dub UV Shrimp Pink. And all we're going to do is just get a little pinch. Just a little bit. A little bit there. Tiny little tuff. And we're just going to dub it right onto that red thread. You don't need much. You see there's not a lot. We're just going to wrap that just behind the bead nice and tight to finish it off. And we're just creating a little hot spot on this particular fly. There we go. Then a little more crazy glue for the threads to lock it all in place. Just going to put it right onto the thread like so. And just wrap forward. Now we whip finish. And another whip finish. Okay, and that is the completed fly. We end up with this red thread collar, a little bit of dubbing, and a CDC fly. Now this is one of my most effective nymphs for the island. I hope you enjoyed the video, and there will be more coming. Alright.